Pop.
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 Pop. Pop.
I'm going to read a poem by Kabir, translated by Robert Bly. Between the conscious and the unconscious, the mind has put up a swing. All earth creatures, even the supernovas, sway between these two trees, and it never winds down. Angels, animals, humans, insects by the million, also the wheeling sun and moon. Ages go by, and it goes on. Everything is swinging. Heaven, earth, water, fire, and the secret one slowly growing a body. Kabir saw that for 15 seconds, and it made him a servant for life. I read this poem because I heard Bly read these Kabir translations at a difficult turning point in my life. I was approaching 30. I was finishing a PhD. I had stopped writing poetry for about almost 10 years, and I was feeling something happening inside me, something that scared me. I had the feeling there was something, like Rilke describes it, as an animal padding around inside his body, and I didn't know what it was, and it turned out to be poetry. That there was poetry in me that wanted to be written, and I had to learn how to write it. And this poem somehow is connected with my discovery of what that was. So it was very important to me for a few years. So I will read a new poem. It's an experiment in voice. It's a persona poem, but the persona is my younger self. So it's an attempt to write in the voice of a younger self. It's called 13-Year-Old American Negro Girl. Clinton Sherman, Air Force Base, Oklahoma, 1959. My face, as foreign to me as a mask, allows people to believe they know me. 13-Year-Old American Negro Girl, headlines would read if I was newsworthy. But that's just the top of the iceberg, me. I could spend hours searching the mirror for clues to my truer identity if someone didn't pound the bathroom door. You can't see what the mirror doesn't show. For instance, that after I close my book and turn off my lamp, I say to the dark, "Give me a message I can give the world." Afraid there's a poet behind my face, I beg until I've cried myself to sleep. I realized I had to be a poet. Well, I knew I was a poet when I was a child, because my mother always told people that I was sensitive, because I was a poet. But I didn't know I had to be a poet until I was, as I said, almost 30, and realizing that if I didn't learn how to write, my life would be unfulfilled. It was for me a sense that there was kind of like being a split personality, like having another personality living inside my head, living inside my skin. and I knew that I had to allow that other self to have a voice. That was a very difficult struggle, learning to acknowledge that other voice.